Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host.
Grandma Gail.
So, Grandma, have you heard of the song, like, It's Corn?
Corn like we eat?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, if you haven't heard of it, you're living under a rock because
Well, that's possible, Kim.
anyone on social media, it's like the biggest thing in the world right now that this song went viral. And you know how there's one video that goes viral that just affects everything else for like a month in our pop culture media? Like,
I guess. You keep telling me that. So
okay,
I'm
well,
sure
this is one
it.
of them. So I'm just going to give background for you and also for people listening if you are also living under rocks.
Well, there are a lot of rocks out there.
Yeah. So, like, in early August, a YouTube account called Recess Therapy, it's pretty popular. It's this guy who, like, interviews little kids at recess, and they say cute, funny things. So the host interviewed a kid about his favorite food at the fair, which was corn, and that video went viral.
Okay.
And then the Gregory brothers, who are musicians who we're having on today, made a song inspired by the video. So they took the video and they like auto-tuned it and turned it into a song that's taken over social media. They've done it for a lot of songs in the past. They've been in this game for a while now. So I want to show you the before and after videos.
But our viewers won't be able to see the videos, so we'll have to communicate to them what we're seeing.
Okay, well, you guys should follow us on Instagram and on TikTok because
right.
we repost all of these
and
clips
Kimberly
on there.
punishes you if you don't follow us.
Okay, so I'm going to get it up on YouTube. Okay, so this is the original clip, okay?
Oh, with the little boy.
With the little
Very
boy.
Cute.
I really like corn.
What do you like about corn?
Ever since I was told that corn is real, it tasted good.
Yeah. I get the idea, but I
He's
love
so
this little
cute.
boy.
I know, so
I
he's
love this little
famous now.
boy.
Like,
oh, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I would like him right in my little house to hug him.
So the Gregory brothers created this song,
Okay.
and this is what's going viral.
Let's.
For me, I really like corn.
What do you like about corn?
It's corn. A big golden nut. It has the juice.
Okay.
Well, it's the cutest thing you ever heard.
So
and
now
saw.
you know how everyone on TikTok uses like a sound,
Yes,
and so
yes.
now this sound everyone's using it. Everyone's dancing to "It's Corn,"
All
and it's a
right.
whole thing.
What was the other ones? Remember when the guy, the Korean gentleman was dancing around and we all
Oh, Gangnam Style.
Yeah, Gangnam Style. So this is a similar kind
Something.
of
That, it's a
fad.
video that went viral.
Right,
That's really it, and that's
exactly.
all. What I mean, we've had videos that have gone viral.
I know we did on
yeah.
in Sag Harbor looking at that yacht. Has
Yeah,
gone
millions
viral.
of views, right?
Right.
So this has
But
really gone
this
crazy.
Kid is cuter than us.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, another example of one of their videos that went viral recently. So this is, Stranger Things, the TV show.
Yes.
So
I don't
this was
like
a
it, but
this
I
was
know
a
it.
clip from Stranger Things.
It was so weird,
It's
guys.
so scary.
It's really you really can't watch these programs before you go to sleep, in my
No.
opinion.
Chrissy, wake up! I don't like this, Chrissy, wake up!
You get the idea. That's
I get
that's
it.
the original clip.
Right.
Then they made this song that went viral probably early August or during the summer.
Chrissy, wake up!
No, I like their version much better.
Chrissy, wake up. Hey, hello.
Well, Kimmy, I see you're very into this.
I
That's
love
for
it.
Sure.
So, okay.
I like the little boy with the corn.
I know.
the
Well, that
best.
one's going crazy right now. Basically, I reached out to these guys who remix these songs. I'm like, we need to talk to you guys because what you're creating here is
It's
basically
spectacular.
it's our whole culture nowadays. So we're excited to get into it with them. Hopefully, that was enough of an explanation for people to kind of get the gist
Well, I also
of
think
what
that
they do.
everybody should figure out how to see these videos because it's the cutest thing I ever saw. So I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the interview. Okay, guys, we are joined by the Gregory brothers, Andrew and Evan. It's 2 out of the 4 members of the group. And obviously, I know you guys are all going to know their songs. They specialize in comedy music and like auto-tune. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on the show. This is such a treat.
It's great to be here. Yeah, thank you.
So we start by asking all of our guests their age, relationship status, and where they're currently living.
You have a couple of
Wow, I feel like it's
Senior
AOL
citizens
in
here,
like
yeah.
1996.
That's when you're lucky.
That was my birth year.
It's big like ASL energy
Yeah,
here.
age,
I
sex,
feel like I'm a
location.
12-year-old pretending to be over 18 in a chat room in the basement of a sleepover.
yeah,
right
so
now.
you could do some no-nos for sure. I'm the oldest member of the group. I'm the oldest brother. We are real life brothers, in fact. And I'm 43 and married, and I have 3 kids.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
Bada
Boom,
boom.
baby.
Evan is married
Of
to
course, he's
one of the
successful.
members of the group. One
Yeah.
of the 4 members of our group is Evan's wife.
Yeah,
Which
if you can believe this, I'm married to Andrew's sister-in-law.
yes, we catch some flack for that because people are like, well, not all 4 of you are brothers. But there's two rebuttals to that. One is like, look at the Allman Brothers band.
Yeah,
They're not all brothers.
No,
they're
they're-
just 2 brothers. Then one of them was dead.
Yeah,
Naked Brothers Band? No.
yeah, great
Remember-
example.
A lot
Yeah.
of brothers are not all brothers. Are not all brothers, but also we are Sarah's brothers-in-law.
You're just trying to
So
get out of
that's-
saying how old you are.
Oh, yeah. 40. I'm 40. I'm married. I just had my first kid.
Andrew's
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Got a 4-month-old baby at home.
Oh, cute.
Oh, so you don't sleep much. So you're you're missing in action, I think, some of the mornings. That's for sure.
Oddly, our kid is an amazing sleeper. So good of a sleeper that
Oh, that's wonderful. That's a blessing.
but
like
yeah,
we meet other parents in the neighborhood, and the other parents are like, "Oh, like terrible. You're not sleeping at all, right?" And
I don't think I slept for 2 years
we just got time.
until the kid went to nursery school. I think I remember that. There was a whole 2-year span of when I was up all night.
Our 4-month-old daughter is going to bed at 8 p.m. sleeping solid until 8 a.m.
you have to love
Yay.
it.
We're
Yay.
lying about it. We're just
Wow.
like telling other parents, like, "Yeah, this is
Yeah.
They'll be so jealous. It's a lot of hate going on in Brooklyn.
Netflix shows between 8 and 11 p.m. It's awesome."
That's amazing. And yeah, for those who don't know, you guys are in Brooklyn.
Yes, that's
we
right.
do
Yeah,
live here
you're
in Brooklyn,
speaking to us in our studio.
yeah.
in
We're not
Williamsburg right
native
now.
New Yorkers. We grew up. Evan and Michael.
I've
and I
lived
grew
here
up-
20 years now. We're
Yeah.
we're fully integrated.
We've been
Right.
here for a long time, but we grew up in a small town in Virginia and have been here
Oh,
for
nice.
all of us approaching 20 years now. Evan's made it. Evan's over the cusp of 20 years.
I got 3 kids in the New York public schools. You know,
Let's get into it. You guys, like, It's Corn, Chrissy Wake Up. Those songs are huge. Like, you also had the Bed Intruder song back in the day. Like, remember? I feel like that was one of the first viral videos that I was aware of, I guess. How does it feel to be such a large part of the cultural zeitgeist?
you know what's cool is to think that we kind of started doing what we're known for, namely remixing found footage or remixing videos that we found out there on the internet. We started doing that 13, 14 years ago, and it kind of felt like a novelty at the time. We thought maybe other people would start doing it all over the place, and they have to an extent, but we thought it would just go out of our control and it would last for a moment and then be over. But it's very gratifying in a way to see that like we can still connect with people on this, that creating a unique melody and creating a catchy song out of something with some really unique message, like it still works. People love it. There's something really essential there, and so it's nice to see like that we can still be making music and still working for ourselves and making stuff after all these years.
It is funny though. We had when we started on YouTube, and we had a lot of hits on YouTube between like 2009 and maybe like 2013. And I think part of the reason we had so many hits early is because of the novelty of it. People,
Right.
I have never seen anything like this before. And then it kind of became like a thing that people expected. It became a thing that like crossed over culturally from like something we did on YouTube to like something I like to refer to as Chekhov's iPhone, which is if in a TV show or movie, someone pulls out their phone in the first act of the movie and says, "Hey guys, I'm recording this." That video is going to go viral in the second or third act of that TV show or movie, and it'll probably be remixed. We might have been hired to do it for the TV show. So it
Yeah.
kind of, I think it became a little less
Just
novel on
accepted as
YouTube.
normal, yeah.
So the TikTok breaking out in the last 3-ish years has all of a sudden exposed us to a younger audience that basically missed out on all of our viral hits, or like forgot about them, or weren't on YouTube as much in the last 10 years. So people who are seeing Chrissy Wake Up or the It's Corn video are kind of like, I've never seen anything like this before, and are only then going back and seeing like our backlog of 12 or 13 years.
Hits.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So now when you're thinking about making videos or making songs, are you thinking about, okay, this would work better on TikTok, or is it still like whatever goes on YouTube goes on all of the platforms?
We are thinking about that to an extent, but the foremost concern is always, does it feel fun and right to us and catchy. So it's like the creative concern comes first.
Mhm.
As far as, well, where do you post things? For it to work on TikTok, it often needs to come from within the TikTok ecosystem. So it's something that people are already connecting with. The monologue about corn by the little boy Tariq was already having like a little bit of a moment.
Right.
When the song comes out, people recognize it from that, but it's been escalated in some ways. It's even catchier now, and you can soundtrack all your other stories and TikToks to it.
I will say, like, one from just like a practical and creative perspective, one amazing thing about TikTok is that, say, like 5 or 10 years ago, when the goal is to put all of our videos on YouTube, if you see a viral clip that's only like 5 seconds long or 10 seconds long or 15 seconds long, you're like, well, this would be really cool, but there's no way to stretch it out to be even a minute and a half long YouTube video. And we're not going to post like a 30-second or 20-second YouTube video. It just
Right.
doesn't fit in the YouTube ecosystem. But like, post a 20-second TikTok and get the loop right.
Yeah, that'll kill.
It
Well,
kills.
that's what happened with us. We found that in many of our little viral things went crazy that we never thought would go anywhere, and it just hit.
Yeah, well, we were saying earlier, like when you spend so much time like curating like a 3-minute video, and then the 5-second one goes like crazy viral, and you're like, what? Like you can't really predict some things.
Right.
Are you familiar with the highly technical term when you're working in the memosphere, the highly technical term shit post?
Sure.
Most of
Explain it
ours-
to us.
Most of ours.
Andrew, how would you
Well,
define
a
shit post?
shit post? I recently found myself explaining what a shit post is to my therapist, and it was
Sure.
very pleasant to me to like be like, okay, I have to explain something about work to you, but first you need to know what a shit post is.
Yeah.
My therapist didn't. I was like, do you know, how about 30 to 50 feral hogs? That's like a good gauge of how extremely online someone is if they know about 30 to
If
50
they know
feral
about
hogs.
that meme.
A shit post is a post that you put almost no effort into. You know, like instead of like you look at a Photoshop job that like The Onion has done, and you're like, this is someone who studied graphic design in college and has honed their craft and is doing brilliant Photoshop.
This is a great photorealistic fake photo.
And then a shit post would be like, you'd literally just like chop out a rectangle of Joe Biden's head and put it on LBJ's body, and I don't know, makes some dumb caption that's
And they love it.
You get your idea across an extremely low effort way.
So we're like, for years and years and years, we've suffered through like spending weeks making a video on TikTok. There's a not that we don't work hard on our TikToks, but there's a little bit. It feels like a place that you can throw something up a little bit more, like throw the spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks.
Well, yeah. So I just showed my grandma the videos. Like, what were your thoughts?
Well, no, I was going to say that program caused
Stranger Things
really caused a tremendous stir this summer. I either loved it or hated it or whatever. It was frightening as the devil. I mean, I loved listening to your music because at least it made it light. I mean, if you watched the entire thing, you couldn't do it at night. It gave you nightmares.
Scary for me.
I don't know if people are, and it's something that we haven't really discussed, but you're in the business. I don't know if people get jaded against fear. They're actually, young people are not scared anymore of watching people dying and blood spurting out and all those horrific things being murdered.
Were they in the 50s and 60s?
Well, you don't have too many of those kind of programs. You had like Psycho, and you could make something scary and musical out of Psycho. You'd be a genius. But I mean, there weren't that many. It was more sort of milquetoast things that we watched on TV. And now,
what are like Twilight Zone,
right? Psycho, you see the
Twilight Zone was later.
The blood, but you never see the knife going in. Now, if they made Psycho,
yeah, exactly. It's much more horrific now. And so your video takes a very scary thing and lightened it up, which I loved. I mean, that was the most fun of it.
Yeah.
I didn't see all.
Well, that's why it's funny. Like,
that's why they're brilliant.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're right. That was the strength of it, right? Is because everybody has seen the clip and got really scared. That first episode was really intense. You thought you were creating a brand new relationship with Chrissy, that you're going to spend a whole season with her, and she was taken away so fast. So everyone is shocked. So the fun and the irony of the song is to make it light and pretend the scary thing didn't
happen.
So that like allows people to interact with it in TikTok in a different way. Like if it was completely sincere, then it would have been kind of only for fans and would have petered out.
Right.
And then it's corn. I mean, like I walk around my apartment singing it to myself.
It was terrific. I mean, it really was a delight to see. Now, I'm just going to ask you one question. Does that young man's family get compensated at all for all this? Does he get a royalty?
Yeah, good question. It's a little bit more complicated in this case, but I'll just zoom out to say that like that's something that we hit on around, I'm going to say
2010.
12 years ago when we first started with this concept. We were applying this idea of what we now call songification, creating songs out of non-songs. We had first applied it to current events. We were like, oh, the news is a thing that's always on. We can always grab some funny soundbite that we think is funny or that is universally considered absurd, and we're going to turn that into a song. We were doing that for a year and a half before some fans started suggesting, why don't you take a look at this viral video? So we had this thing called the Double Rainbow song, which was based on this beautiful video of the guy looking at the double rainbow. And that was the first time where we did it sort of reactively. Like our fans asked us to do this. We made it. It was just a piece of media on the internet.
We were almost like, can we do this? It's not news. And then we're like, we
Right.
have to do it. The video's so good.
But there
It
are
was Paul's own video. This guy, Paul, a.k.a. Yosemite Bear, had posted it on his own YouTube channel.
So the we sort of were improvising at that point, and we got in contact with him, and there were no rules requiring us to do this in some fashion to post it on YouTube. But we sort of just created it and just said, like, let's go into business together. And like, if this song goes for sale on iTunes, that was the main marketplace then, we're just going to split this 50-50. You know, a record label might negotiate it differently, but like, that's the way that feels clean and intuitive. And we struck the same deal around the Bed Intruder song. That's sort of like been the standard for us ever since. So in this case, it's a little bit different where, it's basically the same thing. Yes, he's getting a piece of whatever revenue there is around this song, but there is another player, namely that Recess Therapy was the show that originally interviewed him. So we're also in a relationship with them where, you know, they also have rights to this thing. So it's sort of like three parties that are just like, wow, this very wholesome meme is having a positive effect on the
lives.
Let's go into business together. And so I hope that this results in a pile of money. He's able to, Tariq the boy is able to make money independently just based on his own idea.
Good. Okay, that's what I was curious about.
He did a Chipotle thing. Like,
oh, did he really?
Chipotle ad. He went to the Corn Palace in South Dakota. He's on
good. All right, so we're not worrying about his college
he can make a
money.
ton
He's got a fund
independently, but also anything associated with the song then also goes back a share to him.
And we're encouraging him to register. I mean, it's not just
that would be smart because he's a little boy.
It's like the old school songwriters where you had like one song. This like kind of doesn't happen in music a lot anymore. It does occasionally, but like back in the 30s and 40s, you'd have songwriting duos that like one is only the lyrics and one is only the music.
Rogers and the Hammerstein.
And that's exactly.
That it's like
and low, we could go all over that. That's my vintage
because we're rearranging them, we're rhyming them, but like we see Tariq as like the lyricist of the song, and we're the music people. So it always made sense for us to do an even split.
So even though he's a minor, that's something that's a benefit that we can sort of like assist with. That doesn't.
Well, that's what I was really curious about. Not whether you share with others, but whether he's a young child.
You know, Billy Joel could perform this song at Madison Square Garden, and then a royalty would mechanically make its way back to his family.
Did you guys see him on the Drew Barrymore show? He continues to be astonishingly hilarious and quick on the draw. Drew Barrymore had him taste different kinds of corn products, and when fed baby corn, I mean, first of all, is baby corn good?
Stretch.
No, definitely not.
No.
Immediately said, this tastes like rainwater. The most decisive cutting burn possible for baby corn, just right out of his mouth.
Absolutely savage.
But I think he got this ain't going to go into the college fund necessarily, but I think Drew Barrymore gave him a $5,000 shopping spree at FAO Schwartz.
Woo!
You know, ain't going
doesn't hurt.
Into the college fund, but not too shabby.
Yeah. I've seen on TikTok, but like DJs remix your, I guess it's like your song at big concerts and things like that. Like, is that allowed?
Allowed is such a fishy word, such a slippery word, such a gray area.
I would say yes.
Morally, yes.
Absolutely.
Is it okay to just post something on TikTok? I think in general, yes, that by using the platform, you are tantamount. You've agreed already that your sound can become the sound to other people's videos,
True.
right? You're accepting that people can interact with your TikTok sound at all.
Is just part of what you signed up for TikTok.
Correct.
you can do duets. I guess
Now,
you can turn
if
it off,
you
but-
know, if some huge DJ played it in Vegas at their club residency or something like that, then I think technically by the letter of the law, they would be supposed to register at the end of the night. These are all the songs I performed, and then royalties would go to the performers. But if it's just a few seconds, like that's probably not
yeah,
happening.
this is very. I mean, this is very boring, like business.
Technical, yeah.
But
That's like copyright law
if
stuff.
Billy Joel played it, or if it was played on the radio, that's when the organizations ASCAP and BMI like
Mhm.
get on the cue sheet and go and ask someone for money, and then like 6 months later, the money shows up for us. And
Right. I guess my question is more like, do you guys care? Like, does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel weird? Like, and also just in daily conversation, it comes up in my life. So I'm sure it comes up in your life where people are like either singing the song or like showing a video or whatever. So like, how do you react to that?
Totally. And now we just all accept that anything that you love sincerely is a big lump with knobs. You know,
Yeah.
my wife.
Yeah.
I love it because I mean, first of all, the song is so uplifting. Like Evan said, everyone is able to now to focus on what their lump of knobs
Yeah,
is.
what's
with
corn
the
to
juice.
you?
But also, I just love it from just like I want our videos to do well, and like if people are covering them, if people are reposting them, if people are singing covers of them, like the really funny sad It's Corn cover that went really viral, where people are like mostly posting on TikTok about how sad they are that their friends don't know the It's Corn song.
Yeah.
Great cover, like
Or like
Hades,
explaining to your friends what it is. I've seen.
yeah, like
Yes.
Hades Town the musical was reposting the sad version of it, which is very funny to me.
In general, like people covering it and people using it in their own musical sets, like massively pro that.
Yeah.
The only thing that we might step carefully on is the brands stepping out there
Yeah.
to use it for commercial purposes. Like
Yeah.
they just want to generate revenue for their own brand and use the song to that purpose.
Yeah, I love people sharing it because more people are seeing it. But like Evan said, it's like if I see, United Airlines
Right.
posting,
You expect to have a cut of that.
are we going to get a little bit of a
Yeah, absolutely.
get a licensing fee? But it's like, I think if it's only on TikTok, I think the answer is no. They're just going to
Yeah.
post the
That's
sound.
supposed to be it.
Yeah. We've actually run into that. Like sometimes I get a lot of DMs of people being like, do I have permission to repost your video? And then sometimes people don't ask permission and just do it.
That's the lowest of the low. The caption, "Who did this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
This.
Oh, I love this
At least
grandma.
give
I
us
wish
a
I could-
tag.
Yeah, I wish I could find her. I have no idea who she is.
Yeah.
When they
Oh, yeah.
as
Yeah,
if
that's-
as if the exposure is worth as much to you as the actual ad revenue they're making on Facebook, right? So we're not psyched about that.
Yeah,
but it does happen all
honestly,
the
that's
time.
been a major problem for us on Facebook because
Hmm.
a couple of our we just aren't that big on Facebook, and like every once in a while we'll find a Facebook video that we made that just has like tens of millions of views.
Ugh.
Like,
Annoying.
must be
Well,
nice.
what works on Facebook is the niche interest groups. So like you have your podcast, but like a clip of you guys talking would kill in some niche Facebook group that has 100,000 members.
What is killed on Facebook that is so dumb and not for us? I think because our fans are overwhelmingly liberal, because our political videos are mostly liberal. We made this video of Joe Biden talking about blasting shotguns in the air, which is an amazing speech he gave. Amazing. One of my
Several
favorite
years
videos
ago.
we've done. Right wing Second Amendment groups because
Oh, no.
they're like, terrible idea to protect your home with a shotgun. Only get one shot. That's why I need my AR-15.
Right.
It's constantly
We
going
did
viral
it
in
because
Second
we
Amendment
did it
groups.
because we thought it was funny and kind of like a little bit unhinged, but it gets co-opted for somebody else's purposes. You know?
Right.
Right.
In a different context, it means
Yeah.
different things.
As someone who doesn't own a gun, I feel like having a double barrel shotgun to protect my home would be,
We
Yeah.
still want to know why you need an what is it, an AR-15 or 3? What do you need a machine gun for? Walking
It seems
around
like
the
a
streets
different
of New York?
podcast, though. Maybe like we don't have time for that today.
I still don't know who needs a machine gun walking around the
Yeah.
city. I haven't figured that out yet.
And
And I've lived here 60 years.
we
The great
agree.
question. Yeah, I think if you tie it back to dating, there's great reason. Now you're thinking about
I mean,
carrying.
yeah, they've got to catch that fish somehow.
Exactly.
Fish. And if you don't have success with the rod and reel, you've got to resort to AR-15.
So good. Let's talk about dating a little bit. You guys are real brothers, so you grew up together, saw each other dating. You're both in relationships now. Anything you could share, or like how you met your wives?
I'll go first. I met my wife at a music venue. It's like extremely New York, being in the music scene kind of thing, where I went to see an artist that my friend had told me about. I'm young, in my early 20s, so you're just trying to be in the scene. I was trying to make it as like a starving artist at the time. This is years before we figured out what we were going to be doing on YouTube, which even at that time felt like a side project. So at the time, I'm just playing in bands, going to see other people's bands. And my future wife was singing backup for this artist I went to see, met outside the venue, and then just turned out we were sort of in the same circle, and over time that circle shrank, and she
Shrank to 2.
Yeah, shrank. Well, but there was another guy in the way. She had a boyfriend at the time, and I had to make myself really like I was the fun guy in the
And it didn't
crowd.
have to be just one date or 2 dates. It was a lot of dates. I have a feeling with him.
Yeah, well, and I think she didn't know that she was dating me when we were just going out as friends, a lot. There was like
Right.
there was like a couple of months of runway there where she's still dating the other guy, but kind of thinking to herself like, I wish I could date a guy that's as fun as Evan. I mean, not Evan. Not, Evan's my friend. I'm
Wouldn't it be
not
cool
dating,
if
but
I
what if I
could
met a
date
guy
someone
like Evan? Somebody
like
a lot like Evan.
So like you were friend zoned, or not really?
Well, friend zone sounds like, a terminal affliction. Like
Sure.
I was in I didn't know which way I was going to go.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
really friend zone. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Instead, I weaseled my way in.
Mm-hmm.
Friend door demonstrated what a catch I was, and then proved it out and won.
I mean, you had one huge leg up, Evan, in this process, which was Sarah's boyfriend moved away from New York during this process. So that really, I mean,
That's true.
Not that you wouldn't have reigned victorious in the end anyway.
Yeah. I think I was already on the right trajectory, but there was a
gave you
key
lot of
thing there.
Yeah.
They had actually planned to move to another city together.
Oh,
It was
wow.
like it was going to another level.
He was like the advanced team.
and he was the advanced team, like going there early to like rent
Big
the
mistake.
apartment.
Big mistake.
Oh, he made a boo boo and left Sarah back here with me. Oh boy!
Thank heavens, 3 kids later, you did the way.
Later, you know what? I
It
think
all works.
Yeah, Andrew, what about you?
your meat story.
I kind of met my wife randomly, and I kind of met her through a mutual friend,
See?
which is I was in a Starbucks actually with Evan and Michael and Sarah. We were in Tribeca for a meeting, and walked in to get a coffee before our meeting in the lobby of the building, and I ran into a friend from college's girlfriend.
Just pure small world New York
Pure-
stuff where you bump into somebody at the Starbucks you haven't seen in a couple years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Katie, and Katie
her
was
name.
there with her coworker Casey, who's now my wife, my lovely wife, and we chatted for 10 or 15 minutes, mostly about like why would you ever be in this part of New York City, because they work like way over in Tribeca, like almost at the Holland
Well,
Tunnel.
You know that little armpit down there next to the Holland
just like-
Tunnel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, why would you ever be here? And both of us were like, well, for work. So we chatted for a while, and then Katie was an amazing. I went to her wedding a couple years ago, and it turns out that like 3 or 4 married couples have met through her. Like,
Oh, she was so happy
she's
to
a
matchmake
next
you.
level matchmaker.
She smelled it immediately. You guys met in the Starbucks.
And
She's like,
they
I'm
were
making this work.
They were working on a book together. They work in publishing, or my wife still works in publishing. They were working on the Marcel the Shell book. Do you know Marcel the Shell, the little shell?
Oh yeah, of course.
Marcel is a children's book, and they were working on that book. And Katie was like, "Oh, Andrew makes YouTube videos. You're working on this book about a YouTube video. You guys should hang out. We could get you a copy, a promotional copy, Andrew." So I texted Katie. We were close enough. Like I knew Katie well enough through. This is a close friend of mine from college that I had her number, and I texted her and was like, "I'm in the building all day for meetings. We were there for like 8 or 10 hours that day. Like maybe this afternoon, like you and Casey can take a coffee break."
Oh, you
Marcel,
had your antennas up.
But it's like,
and Katie texted me back and was just like, "I'll send Casey down with it."
yeah. The thing is, it's such a good meet cute, and you're giving us all false hope that we're gonna meet someone that way, because we're all like in dating app bar mode. I feel like no one's ever like, you walk into a coffee shop and they order the same thing as you, you know?
Casey and I have talked about this, that we were both online dating at the time. And although we did not meet through online dating, I think we both think that the attitude of online dating of just kind of like, I think I had a couple years in New York where I was like, I can't meet anybody. And then I online dated for a couple years, and I was kind of like, oh, okay. It kind of opened up my thinking a little bit about like, okay, there are single people that want to date.
Right.
And that situation, meeting Casey and being like, oh, okay, she's single. Like I could ask her out. Like I do think that online dating.
You're
kinda
saying
gave
that
me some
maybe your meet
confidence.
cute wouldn't have happened if you hadn't been practicing with online
If
dating.
we'd not do
It was
that,
more relaxed.
grinding it out on OkCupid and Match.com. Just pretender world.
How long were you engaged or together?
We were together for. Let me think here. We met in 2011.
They dated for about
Oh, that's a long.
too much, and they
So we
broke up.
So we broke up for a couple months, and then we were back together, and we got married in July of 2015.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
What are you gonna
No, I was
judge or?
no, I was thinking of Friends. They were on a break.
Oh.
I will say I was on the other side of what Evan and Sarah went through, which was I was casually seeing someone up to the day I met Casey. I'm
Huh.
I'm a very impulsive dater, for better and for worse. You know, flash forward when I break up with Casey foolishly, it's too
Yikes.
impulsive.
It was a yikes.
Met Casey in this coffee shop, saw her that afternoon, and literally I'm thinking like, man, wish I could be dating someone that cool. Like this girl I'm casually seeing, like she's definitely not as cool as Casey. And just like within 3 days, broke up, got it, booked a date with Casey, went out with her Saturday night. I ran into
Get the
you
job done.
Love it.
on my
Got the
first
job
date
done.
with Casey. I ran into Evan and Sarah, and Evan rolled his eyes at me. Evan was like, "Oh, like you just broke up with that other girl. You're out with this girl."
Mhm.
But I got a huge thumb up of approval from him.
Okay.
Both of our
Uh,
stories do have the mutual friend component in common.
Right.
So that's like
Mhm.
very
I
strong
think that works
endorsement.
the best anyway.
Yeah, you have like you know somebody's safe. You have a starting
Mhm.
point of like what you have in common. But isn't
Exactly.
there like I have a bunch of friends on Hinge, and so like that's supposed to be the mechanism of Hinge is having that exact thing that everyone has known for thousands of years work the mutual friend.
What are you out there on, Kim? Are you on
Are you
Hinge?
Hinge?
Yeah, but I don't think Hinge is like that anymore. I think they like changed the algorithm. I liked when it was like that, but now you don't have to have mutual friends with somebody. I don't think. But yeah, I'm on everything. Like,
You're
And
all-
she's
you're all-
not going on any of them. You have enough dates without going on the apps now, right?
sure.
About 400
Now
of
you, now you get dates from podcasting.
Exactly. Everybody's they're lined up around the
Any
corner.
social media platform out there, I feel like I'm going on a date with.
You're just
Yeah.
your TikTok DMs.
Yeah,
a
people
great, great way to meet strangers.
Oh, we have a friend on Hinge who was just telling me a couple days ago about how she got an Instagram DM from a guy she knew saying, "Hey, saw you on Hinge. Just want to let you know I'd swipe right on that."
Yeah.
Why didn't you?
Why didn't you? He's
No,
trying.
he probably liked her and she didn't like him back,
Absolutely, that's absolutely right. So
think
which
what,
is even more awkward because it's like, why did you slide in? Because she obviously doesn't like you.
you're exactly
Kelly,
right. You
this
just made
is
it
so
more awkward.
sad.
No, this is how it is.
Well, I don't like it. I like their stories better. I don't like any of those stories. I think you
Oh
should
man,
go to
just
the
hearing
go
about
to the same coffee shop.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh yeah, what? Yeah, I'll go to
Right.
Tribeca and I'll just sit in that coffee
sit in
shop.
that coffee shop. Maybe some adorable guy will come right in.
Mhm.
Starbucks in the lobby of a corporate
Oh,
building.
yeah.
What's the difference?
You can go to mine. It's still there. It's Pete's Candy Store on Lorimer Street.
Perfect. And you guys also host your podcast, Punch Up the Jam. Tell me about that a little bit.
Yes, we're podcasters now. We took over this podcast from two amazing comedians that left it a couple years ago, and it's on the Headgum Network. And it is a music comedy podcast. That's exactly what we do. So they asked us to step in. Now we've been doing it for almost a year, and the idea is we take one song per episode, one of the greatest hits ever, some huge song. Sometimes we do recent hits, like we did "Levitating" by Dua Lipa this year.
What was the Ed Sheeran song we just did? We just did
Thinking Out Loud.
Yeah.
But often it's classic rock or 90s hits. John Lennon's Imagine. You can't think of a bigger song than that.
Mhm.
So we'll talk about it with a guest, and then by the end of the episode, we produce an improved version of it.
I love it.
Punch it up. We take the jam and we punch it up.
Yeah.
It's required listening. Highly recommend.
fun.
Yeah.
fun.
It sounds great. I'm wondering as you're talking, like at the beginning of our episodes, we always say, "Hey, it's Kim and my co-host," and she goes, "Grandma Gail." I'm like, that could be a song that you guys could remix, I'm sure.
Yeah, that could be your new theme song.
Who
Mhm.
wants to hear it?
Yeah,
Besides-
that's
the
another
problem. No one's
problem.
gonna wanna
Your
listen to that.
audience does.
Grandma Gail, how did you meet Kim's? I guess I don't know if
Poppy. Yeah, my grandpa.
Well, that was a fix
They've been married 59 years.
yesterday.
Yes, oh, I
Yes,
love to
happy
hear it.
anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank
we
you,
almost
thank
we
you.
moved our recording date. We could have been recording on your anniversary.
That's
Well, we
beautiful.
could have, but
She
I
didn't even hang out with him all day.
I
so-
hung out with you. How come I hang out with him if I'm with you every day? So I mean, that's impossible. I think I'm married to you now. The truth is, we were fixed up by family members, and we didn't like each other in the beginning, and we sort of got used to each other. we're still getting used to each other. It's 59 years. We're still figuring out how we're getting used to each other.
Years later, you mostly didn't spend your anniversary together.
Exactly.
We all had dinner.
That's
I
what-
want to end the episode with a game we play with all of our guests. It's a quick round of Grandma Gail's old-fashioned dating quiz. We basically go through like some hypotheticals, and then we will deem whether you guys are an old-fashioned dater, more of a modern dater. Maybe just say your name before you say like your answer. Okay. Would you rather receive a call or a text from your partner if it's just to say hi?
This is Evan. I'd rather get a text.
Yeah, I would rather get a text as well. If it's just to say hi.
Me too.
I'm keeping
Okay.
you too, not me.
Sleep with someone on the first date.
This is Andrew. I don't think I would do it. I don't think I'd do it. No.
This is Evan. If it's just cold from the world of online dating, that's a no. It would, maybe the answer might change a lot based on the whole setup, the mutual friend, the relationship.
It's not a moral judgment. That's more a judgment of just how
You are personally.
you feel personally.
Yeah, totally. Dating apps or setups?
I've got. This is Andrew. I've gone either way. I've probably gone on more online dates than I've gone on setups, but the setup is what worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
In the end.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. I have to say setups.
They're all leading to me.
Okay.
Kim. You're losing today.
Move in together before getting engaged, or wait until you're like engaged or married to live together?
We moved in together after we were engaged.
But prior to marriage.
Prior to marriage, Evan, you guys moved in after you're married.
Yeah, I moved in the day before. I just moved all my stuff in. So
More traditional too.
that's
Okay. Last one. Should one person in the relationship pay for the date, or should you split everything or alternate?
Are we talking first date, or are we talking like
First few dates.
first 2 dates?
Yeah, first couple dates I pay. Then I love alternating. It's fun.
I think first date I would try to pay, but if she says, let's
Slip it in.
no,
The pocketbook.
I think it's ruder to complain about that than it is to just say like, okay, yeah, great, we'll split it. I think that's the worst thing you can do is for the lady to say like, oh, we'll split it, and to be like, no.
Oh, it's so
No.
subtle. You got to look at their eyebrows. You got to listen to their tone. They don't want to split it. Maybe they
No.
do.
I
They
think you just
don't.
say like, okay, you want to split it? Yeah, great.
Ooh,
But,
that's a
like, don't-
toughie.
I think you don't want to get in like
Ooh.
getting too chivalrous. That's when you start sliding too quickly into misogyny.
Mm.
It is hard because like some people just say it to be polite, and some people don't want to be they want to be treated like equal in that way. It is hard.
You a
Um,
splitter?
You hit the nail on the
Are you a
head. Some people
splitter, or
just
do you
saying
want-
it to be polite.
Do you want them to pay on the first date, Kim? What are you?
Yeah, I want them to pay because I feel like they asked me on the date, so then they should pay for it.
Yeah,
And then afterwards, it's
Yeah, if I'm like in a relationship, it's different. But like early days, they probably are asking me out. So
that's a great motto. Just boil it down. You ask, you pay.
yeah,
right. That's right. Well, that's what most people
right.
say.
We should put a sign on our door or something.
They're traditional.
They're
They're
like
more-
kind of split.
Yeah, they're kind of
Kind of split.
Okay, half and half.
Half and half. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on Excuse My Grandma. Tell everyone how they can watch your videos, listen to your music, and all that.
If you're a big podcaster, come listen to our podcast. It is at Punch Up the Jam. You can follow us on all the platforms. But me personally, I'm Evan. You can follow me at Get Some Evan.
I'm Andrew. You can follow me at Gregory on Instagram or Twitter. But you can look at our YouTube videos or our TikToks at /Schmoyoho, SCHMOYOHO, accent on the yo. And again, thanks so much for having us, Kim and Grandma Gail.
It's been a treat. Thanks for letting us
We
dip
loved it. And I
So
loved your
fun.
video. I have to tell you, both of the ones that Kim showed me, I'm a believer now. I'm going to put it on my phone.
Oh, thanks.
Love
That
it.
means a lot. What an endorsement.
Again, you know how to follow us. Excuse My Grandma on TikTok and Instagram. Or you can listen to the podcast on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're listening right now. And we will see you next week.